If a woman's ignoring you, you need more than cookie-cutter advice from internet gurus. You need to become the sculptor of your character and your relationships. If you clicked this video thinking it would give you the one foolproof answer, go find some other snake oil salesman. No one can navigate your relationships for you or become an authentic man for you. But what we men can do for each other is share real-life experiences and wisdom from modern psychology to ancient philosophy. By the end of this video, you won't have all the answers, but you will have a powerful new mental tool, a chisel, not a cookie cutter, to discover and shape the right approach for you and her and your situation. Let's not pretend that a YouTuber who's never met you or the woman in your life has some silver bullet guaranteed to get her attention. Instead of looking high and low for the answer, you and no one else must become the master sculptor of your relationships. The right solution to the pain you're experiencing right now lies hidden within the unrefined aspects of yourself and your dynamic with this woman. And like a master sculptor, you must learn to chisel away at the raw stone, practicing the art of subtraction until the 1,000 wrong solutions lie in dust at your feet and the singular authentic response that's right for you is revealed. Then it will seem intuitive and obvious, even if now you can't imagine it. What does it mean to chisel away at yourself? It means to become intimately aware of all your knee-jerk responses to her indifference. Just as a sculptor must learn his stone, you must become attuned to your thoughts and emotions. Get away from your screen and into the solitude of your mind, whether out in nature, at the gym, or with pen and paper. That's the first step. When you remove distractions and face your own thoughts and feelings, however painful, you have stepped into the sculptor's studio. Explore the rough exterior of your emotional response to her indifference. You might find many of the impulses and half-formed ideas that are passed off as masterpieces by the knick-knack peddlers of the internet bizarre. Ignore her back is a common one, as is don't show weakness or let her see you're upset. While it may be appropriate to give her some space and not to dump your feelings of rejection on her, ask yourself before you ignore her back or cut her off whether you're actually just trying to protect yourself, suppress your emotions, or get revenge. Kidding yourself that you don't care about her anyway, or trying to make her think you don't, is unlikely to improve the dynamic. Notice that impulsive response, if you have it, then give it the chisel. There's often a kernel of wisdom hidden within our unrefined responses to adversity. In this case, the urge to ignore her back is an immature character of the evolved man's serene self-sufficiency. This ability not to take her indifference personally is hard-won. If you've known her for a while, whether as a friend, lover, or partner, you've probably realized that she's human and thus has 1,000 moods as well as diverse interests, goals, and preoccupations. If these threaten you or make you question your worth, that's just a signal that you have work to do on yourself. No amount of attention from her or anyone else can fix your insecurities. They can only paper them over for a time, like alcohol or other distractions. Of course, if you've just met her and are in the first flush of attraction, you might imagine that her 24/7 undivided attention would be heaven, and it might for a few weeks, but anyone experienced could tell you that you'd soon find her boring or suffocating. And if you don't know her well, you might even be misreading her seeming indifference. Just because she doesn't seem to share your intense fascination doesn't mean she's truly indifferent. If she's shown clear, active lack of interest in you, that's different. You'll probably have to back off and reassess or move on. But it's easy to read rejection into mere preoccupation, especially if you're newly infatuated. Notice this tendency in yourself, if you have it. Accept that it's human and that no human is a mind reader. Then take the chisel and chip away your assumptions about what her inattention means. Beneath, you might discover jealousy or FOMO. Who or what does she find so interesting that she doesn't seem to notice I exist? Jealousy and fear of being left out are normal, but keep chiseling. Get curious about her friends and interests. Notice what she's into, ask about it, and listen. A great lover or partner is always surprising you. The more secure you feel in yourself, the more you come to delight in her surprises. But it works the other way too. Getting out of yourself and taking a real interest in someone else makes you bigger and less self-conscious, as does the positive response you get when you really listen. But what if you just aren't getting the chance to be curious and listen to her interests? And what if you're not just reading in, but have clear evidence that she's deliberately blowing you off or playing mind games? If you've done some reality checks with yourself and others, and this is what's going on, it's best to take the high road and not engage in any drama. But where the high road leads will depend on the terrain. Do you barely know each other, or have you been friends or more for a while? If you barely know each other, it's quite likely she just doesn't have the same intense fascination with you that you do with her. That doesn't mean she's actively uninterested, it just means there's a mismatch. You've noticed her more than she's noticed you. Perfectly reciprocal, two-way infatuation at first sight is about as rare as simultaneous orgasm the first or 100th time you sleep with someone. So don't despair if she doesn't match your interest point for point. If you've shown interest in her, consider whether you've come on too strong and she's just signaling a need to take things slower. Dial back the calls and texts, not to punish her, but to respect her boundaries and show you're not desperate. If there's an established connection between you and she's suddenly gone chilly, fighting ice with ice can easily worsen the situation, coming off as either self-defensive or vengeful. In this situation, the high road might lead to vulnerability, not hiding what you're feeling, but sharing it in a mature way. It's the high road, not the easy road, right? If you're feeling rejected or ignored and don't know why she's pulled back, reflect on possible reasons, again without assuming you've read her mind. Then, since you can't read her mind, let her know how you're feeling and ask her what's going on. This is the hard part, of course. You might want to run the conversation in your head or even on paper if you're worried about coming off demanding or needy. Chip away those possible words and tones that could give the wrong impression. Hear yourself saying them and imagine what she might feel if you demand to know why she's been so cold and distant in an accusing tone. Chip away that possible response. Practice the art of subtraction until you can hear yourself telling her how you're feeling in a way that feels right. But be warned, the work of sculpting yourself and your relationships is never finished. You might practice the art of subtraction and arrive at the perfect response to her apparent indifference, only to find that your perfect solution is brittle and breaks on contact with reality. You start again and again, battle testing your intuitions and sharpening your senses for where you and she are at emotionally. When a woman ignores you, there's no secret that will make her like you or regret blowing you off. You can't control or even know what she's feeling. If you're already close, have the strength to be vulnerable. Find a way to tell her you've been feeling unsure without being demanding or clingy. If you're just getting to know her, don't jump to conclusions and process any insecurity you're feeling on your own. If you are not already close, it's not fair or attractive to make your feelings her problem. Unpack your feelings and chisel away at them. Work on yourself like the sculptor, and you can access your curiosity beneath the insecurity. You can access strength in the vulnerability of sharing your doubts with a woman, but only after you've chipped away your rough, protective desire to run away or take revenge.